All right, everybody, I'm jumping on once again because there is so much going on in the world right now and in the political sector that just needs to be talked about, okay? First one I'm going to talk about is my own country because I stand for America first. Yes, I support Israel, but we got to take care of our people as well. We can't just leave them high and dry. And that's what's going on right now. We have people in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, North Carolina, western parts of North Carolina, in the mountains that are being left to die. Like, huh? Since when do we just abandon American citizens in their time of need? A hurricane just blew through, taking out power and water and basic like necessities, blowing out roads and all this stuff. I mean, people need help. Bodies are being found just floating in the streets because the water hasn't been receded yet and all that. It's just like, what's going on? Oh, wait. I know. All the money was given to the illegals. They came in. They were given all the money. So now FEMA's broke. They can't help our own people because there's no more money left. They can't make it through the hurricane season because, oops, we gave all that money to the people that broke the law and crossed the border. Uh-oh. But oh no, we're going to make up for that. We're going to send Kamala out for a day and give a few people $750, which is basically like somebody's 1 week paycheck, if that, to try to compensate for them losing their home and their loved ones and their livelihoods. Like, that should fix it. That should put a Band-Aid on it and make it go away. A little bit of optics here or there. No. If you are an American that is witnessing what's going on right now, because I know mainstream media ain't talking about it because they don't want to talk about it because it makes her look bad. If you can still vote Democrat on this level, when we have Americans being found dead hanging in trees, we're having people pulling out bodies from lakes and rivers because the government can't figure out how to initiate resources to go out there and help them. We have people's resources that they're putting together out of their own pockets being confiscated because, oh, wait, we got jurisdiction over this area even though we can't do nothing in this area. We got jurisdiction. So we're going to take all your resources. We're going to take all that food and perishable goods and all that equipment you're trying to bring up in here. We're going to confiscate that. We're going to take that because we're in charge over here and you can't have that because you're in our space now. You're within our area, so we're gonna take your ball and we're gonna go home with it. Like Lord Jesus, help us. Like, call it upon all the hosts of heaven and all the angels to get in line and defend Americans, because this is a big no. Just like I said in my previous video, the power of no. We need to learn when to tell the government where to shove it, because we are their boss. We are the ones who tell them what to do. They shouldn't be out here trying to tell us, oh, you can't go in there, you go in there, we'll arrest you. You can't go save those people, because if you save those people, we'll arrest you. What? No. Like, thank God for Elon Musk and X right now, because I'm able to get all the details from the ground, from the people that are actually living through this mess. Spending time in prayer on their behalf, being like, Lord Jesus, send the relief. If you got to make water come out of a rock, if you got to rain manna and quail down from the skies, do what you got to do so that these people don't go without. Because right now the government, as I've read in too many posts on today, is incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. They'll come in there, hobble around for a few minutes, get back on their planes and fly on out of there. But then tell other civilians with their own planes, you can't come in this airspace. You can't come in here to help these people. I've been told to stand down, so you got to stand down. What? No. We see Americans in danger, we go, we help them. We see our fellow brothers and sisters out there suffering, we try to help them. We don't let them just die over there, let their kids wandering the streets, basically with no parents because they're now dead. No. We don't put up with that. We don't stand by that. No, 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 no. I will say it over and over again. The power of no. Something needs to be done. And if there's still a Democratic voter out there that has some way to explain this all away, to still make the Democrats look good, oh, I want to hear you. Jump in those comments down there. I want to hear what you think is a good reason to let Americans go hungry, go without water, go without lights, go without homes, having shelters run out of food, simply because all that money was given to the illegals who didn't earn it, who didn't deserve it, but because they were told, just come on in, we'll give you all this stuff. Now the Americans are going without. Now the ones who are actually born here, raised here, paying taxes here, they're going without. The ones who weren't born here, weren't raised here, they took all the money. Somebody make it make sense. That's like a parent giving their toddler their bank card and saying, go have fun. And then all of a sudden, the house needs a repair, or some unexpected something comes up, and the money's gone. Because you frivolously gave the money to somebody who wasn't responsible enough to handle it. Or, better yet, who didn't deserve to handle it. You put it in the hands of somebody incapable of doing right with it. So, if this isn't a big tell that November 5th is the day of reckoning, that we better get it right and vote Trump, I don't know what else is. Because this is a war, if I've ever seen one, between good and evil, wickedness and righteousness, principalities and wickedness in high places, like I said on the previous video. We need wisdom. We need angelic protection. We need the wicked to be expelled from our coffers because they are mishandling our funds and giving them to nations that shouldn't have it, giving it to illegals that shouldn't have it, when their people are suffering. Their own people on their own soil are suffering. And they're just like, sorry, we ran out. Can't make it. Don't know what to tell you. Huh? No. I don't stand for it. I don't like it. So I came on here to get this off my chest and spit my piece that something needs to be done. And we need to make sure this election is too big to rig so that they can't continue to do this. Trump's 4 years, we had peace. We had countries not at war. We had a booming economy. I had more money in my pocket, I know that. Because I was still working in retail back then. I hadn't even moved out of my blue state. Side note. Trump's taxes, how the left wants to say he only gives tax cuts to the wealthiest of Americans. Not true. Because within the guidelines of those tax cuts, you give a business tax cuts and you tell them, if you keep funneling that money back into your business, I'm going to let you keep these tax cuts. They're going to do that. They're not stupid. They're going to make sure that they're feeding money back into the business, increasing the wages of their employees, making sure the people that work for them are taken care of, because that is a bipartisan part of them keeping those tax cuts, making sure the money's going where it should be going. So when I was working in retail still during Trump's first term, I had a job where every 700 hours you got a raise. It didn't matter how long you've been there or whatever. If you just worked your 700 hours, showed up, once you hit that benchmark, boom, you were called in, your pay went up. When Trump got in there and instituted those tax cuts, I was coming in that office all the time. They were calling me in almost every other month, being like, yeah, you're getting another pay raise, you're getting another pay raise, you're getting another pay raise. I was like, where's this money coming from? Because you affect my pocketbook in a good way, I'm going to pay attention. So I looked it up. I started researching and seeing what was going on. And I saw them tax cuts for the businesses. I saw the stipulations behind those tax cuts for the businesses. And I was like, ooh, I like that. So tax time came around and I paid attention. I saw that he raised the standard deduction. And I was like, ooh, nice. We can do that. We can claim that. And I was living well. I was happy. Even in a blue state back then. He was doing things to improve my life as an everyday citizen. And now here we are. Going on 4 years of the total opposite. It's like someone just took a switch and turned off the lights in America. Like, no pun intended to those out there in those states that have no lights right now. Like, Not joking about nothing. This is too serious for that. And now look at us. Laughing stock on the global stage. No one knows who's really running the country. And we got citizens dying because they gave all the money to the illegals. Like, I don't care what you think about women's rights. I don't care what you think about, like, blacks having everything handed to them on a silver platter. Like, no. If you are willing to vote for the quote-unquote, like, execution of American citizens at the hands of your government because they won't send in relief, they won't go in there and feed these people, save these people, no. That is irreprehensible to still vote Democrat at this point. Still, like, no. There is no excuse. There is no answer to that. Besides, you are blind as a bat. Okay? A demonic bat. Because only demonic possession would keep somebody from voting American and being like, this has been a nightmare. This has been awful and we gotta stop this. So stop this with your vote. November 5th. Make it right. Go to them polls and let the Democrats know we don't stand for this mess no more. It's time to fire Biden and Kamala. It's time to fire them both. Because if you believe that just because she's VP, she had no leverage to try and sway Biden's ideas, you are absolutely wrong. Because when you have a partnership, you're supposed to be able to work together. And if you bring your ideas to the table that would help the Americans, all these ideas you say you have that you're going to institute on day one, you bring them to your boss. You sit your boss down and you be like, I think we should do this. We should mock up this bill. We should write this up. Get the House and the Senate to vote on it. And if your boss tells you no, then you stand your ground. As a strong individual, you go in there, and when you need a tie-breaking vote, you could be like, no, I ain't going to break the tie on this one because this is not what the American people need. This is not what they want. You stand up for them, not kowtowing and being like a yes woman to the wickedness going on over there. You say you can do all this stuff. You have the power to do all this stuff on day one. You had somebody that you were working with that you could have gave all these ideas to. They could have been getting them done. But what'd you do? You rolled over. You let whatever ideas, you let whomever was basically puppeting him tell you what to do and how to vote. I don't need somebody that's going to quiver and give into the evil. I don't need that. Don't want it. Hell can keep it. So no, you can miss me with all of that. She's just the VP. She doesn't have that much power to do all that. You say that she should have been able to get done. No. She didn't have to be those tie-breaking votes. She could have stood on her integrity and been like, no, that's not good for the American people. There's too much pork in these bills. There's too much extra stuff in here that doesn't need to be in here. That needs its own separate bill. We're going to do that on a separate thing. But no. She was like, I'm going to be a tie-breaking vote on this. I'm going to be a tie-breaking vote on that. I'm going to be a yes woman and just do whatever I'm told. No. Don't want it. Don't need it. So all you Democrats out there, all you African Americans that are still on the plantation in your mind, it's time to free yourself. Just like that, the June 19th, you think it's such a big holiday to celebrate because Southern blacks are finally told that they were free? I'm trying to tell you, you are an American. You are free. Get off the mental plantation and let your voice be heard, that you will no longer be taken advantage of and being treated like you stupid. Because your roads suck, your businesses are boarded up, your police stations have no cops in them because it's too dangerous for them to even do their job. Like, look at what they're doing to you. Your population is dwindling because they're telling you to go kill your kids so that you can't prosper and you can't have a legacy. Look at the fruit of what you've been voting for over 250 years. Look at this mess. Like, Woodrow Wilson said it himself. He instituted welfare. I'm going to have these Africans voting Democrat for the next 250 years. And what have we been doing? Mindlessly, blindly, just voting Democrat. This girl got off that plantation back in 2020. We'll never let somebody put me in a mind trap like that ever again. Because it don't work. Everything they promise, they always go back on. They never fulfill nothing to the American people. It's always, oh, bring in the illegals. Let's give them IDs. Let's let them be able to vote. No. Because of what they decided to do, putting illegals before you, here we are. Decimated towns that are now left to just be decimated. Yes, I've heard the stuff going on about lithium being underneath these towns and the government wanting to snatch it up like a land grab so that they can be able to have the lithium needed to make their batteries for their EV vehicles. Like, I know. Oh, I know the agendas that are going on, but I'm focusing on the spiritual war going on right now. That there are civilians that are dying and civilians that are being prevented from saving them when they have the ability to save them. That is reprehensible. Like, you can't be doing that. You can't be allowing that. If the government themselves cannot go in there to save the people, then the people themselves that can go in there to save the people. And the government needs to get out of the way. So that's my 2 cents, probably more than 2 cents, on this subject. That our government right now is not capable of even taking care of its own home base. So we need to replace them. If this was an interview, they would have never even gotten the job. So do not go to the ballot box on November 5th thinking that, oh, this is all going to change if I just vote her in. She's going to do better than him. No, you voted for him and this is what you got. You think voting for her is going to change that? No, she is just as much of a puppet as he is. Don't fool yourselves. Stand firm for your country. Because if you lose your country, you ain't never going to get it back. There's nowhere else to run. So remember that and vote Trump. Because his policies in those 4 years were some of the best 4 years America has had to date. Okay? I don't care what anybody says. I put policy over personality any day of the week. Okay? It's always going to come first. How are you going to decide what happens in my country? What decisions are you going to make that can better my life? Bring down my expenses so that I have more money to put back into the economy. What are you going to do to make that possible? And what he did was some really good stuff. I don't care how little or how much you think he might have done. It doesn't matter. He did it, and the proof is in the pudding. His 4 years were some of the most peaceful 4 years we've ever had in this country. Listen up, America. It is time for a change. A massive change. Fire those Democrats. Fire those rhino Republicans out there that are not even living right for Christ, that are also bought and paid for. Replace them with people that are of the kingdom, that are righteous, that stand firm for godly principles, that want to see America thrive again, want to see America living her best life again. Okay? We want prosperity in this country, not poverty. We need to do what's right for ourselves so that then we can be a helping hand to others. Because if your cup is empty, whose cup can you pour into? Nobody. So it's time to get it right, get it tight, get our homeland secure, so that then we can be a blessing to those around us. Over and out.